See, Jesus knew this, and he lived at 3 levels of community, and so we also need to live at 3 levels of community. The first level that Jesus lived at is the least intimate of the levels. This would be the level of the disciples. There were hundreds of disciples. We see this in Matthew 28. We see this in 1 Corinthians 15, that Jesus had hundreds of disciples that followed him around and would listen to his teachings and then hopefully would put those into practice. It was a very large group, and they learned from him. But then he had a smaller group of people. This is the apostles. This would be the 12 that you know of, the 12 apostles. And this you find all about them all over the Gospels, of course, but particularly in Luke 6, we get a list of them. This is a medium-sized group, and he not only taught them, which he did, but he did life with them. They were with him all the time when, they walked around, they traveled together. They were there not just listening to the teaching, but participating in the teaching. It was a whole other level, and it was a smaller group. So we go from hundreds, then we go down to 12, and then inside that 12, Jesus had an inner circle. This is the 3. This is Peter, James, and John. We can find about them in Mark 9, Luke 8, and Matthew 26. This is a small group that Jesus shared his life with on a level that he didn't share with the others. And why did he do it? Because it was like he was creating diamonds out of carbon. These were the men that would be the leaders of the church. This is Peter, James, and John. He was creating these leaders in that small group. And so what we find, number 2, is to become like Jesus, we need smaller Jesus communities. We have the church, it's a Jesus community, but we need smaller Jesus communities.